This is the practice test for 4.5. Our first question asks us to graph using the x and y intercepts. And here we have equation 2x plus 8y equals 16. I can tell that this equation is in standard form because it follows the format of ax plus by equals c. And there are three rules about equations in standard form. One of the rules is that a, b, and c cannot all be 0. Another rule is that a, b, and c must be integers, meaning they cannot be fractions or decimals. And the last rule is that a cannot be negative. So let's get to solving this equation so that I can graph it for the x and the y intercepts. So when I say solve it, what I need to do is convert it from standard form to slope-intercept form. In order to do that, I need to solve for y. So my first step is to subtract 2x from the left and subtract 2x from the right. This cancels out, and I get 8y is equal to negative 2x plus 16. Then I need to get rid of the coefficient of y, which is 8. So I'm going to divide by 8. And I need to do that to all the terms in the equation. This cancels out. I bring down my y. Here I have negative 2 divided by 8. I want to keep that as a fraction, but I'm going to simplify it. 2/8 simplifies to 1/4, and that's a negative 1/4, so I have negative 1/4 x plus 16 divided by 8 is 2. Now this equation is in slope-intercept form because it follows the format y equals mx plus b. My directions tell me to graph using the x and the y intercepts. An equation in slope-intercept form does have one of the intercepts. B is the y-intercept. So my y-intercept is 0, 2. Now I need my x-intercept. In order to find my x-intercept, I need to substitute 0 in for y. So I get 0 equals negative 1/4 x plus 2. And then I need to solve for x. So I'm going to subtract 2 from the right, subtract 2 from the left. I get negative 2 equals negative 1/4 x. Then I need to divide by negative 1/4, but we don't divide fractions. We multiply by the reciprocal, which would be negative 4 over 1, or just negative 4. This cancels out, and I get x equals negative 4 times negative 2 is a positive 8. So my x-intercept is 8, 0. My next step is to plot those points and draw my line. So my y-intercept is 0, 2, which is located right here. My x-intercept is at 8, 0, right here. And then I need to draw a line between my 2 points. Oops, let me just get that in there. There we go. And now I'm missing a few things. What am I missing from my graph? Well, I have to label my points. This is 8, 0. This is 0, 2. And I need to label my line with my original equation. My original equation was 2x plus 8y equals 16. In this example, we're going to look at a word problem. You have $50 to spend on a meal for your family. Graph the equation 2y plus 10x equals 50, where x is the number of entrees and y is the number of sodas purchased. So I'm going to take my equation, 2y plus 10x equals 50. And I want to turn this into slope-intercept form, so I need to solve for y. So I'm going to subtract 10x from both sides. 10x minus 10x cancels out. I get 2y equals negative 10x plus 50. Then I divide all my terms by 2. This cancels out. I get y equals negative 10 divided by 2 is negative 5x, plus 50 divided by 2 is 25. My y-intercept is 0, 25. Now I need to solve for my x-intercept by substituting 0 in for y. I get 0 equals negative 5x plus 25. First thing I need to do is add 5x to both sides. Wait, that was a mistake. I don't want to do that. I need to subtract 25 from both sides. This cancels out. I get negative 25 equals negative 5x. I need to divide both sides by negative 5. And I get positive 5 equals x. That makes my x-intercept 5, 0. Next, I plot my points. Notice this goes up to 25. My graph only goes up to 8. So for my y-axis, I'm going to go up in increments of 5. So this would be 5, 10, 15, etc. So I'm just going to change this here, make this a 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. So 0, 25 would be right here. And then 5, 0. So I'm going to go right 5, up and down 0. I label my 2 points, 0, 25, and 5, 0. And I label my line with my equation, which was 2y plus 10x equals 50. The next task is to interpret the intercepts. My x-intercept is 5, 0. Remember that ordered pairs always go x, y. And in this situation, x equals entrees and y equals sodas. So what this intercept tells me is x, which is entrees, is 5, and y, which is sodas, is 0. So what that means is if I buy 0 sodas, I would be able to buy 5 entrees. So my x-intercept means that I can purchase or I can buy 5 entrees. You can include the information about 0 sodas if you want. Now let's look at the y-intercept. My y-intercept was 0, 25. Again, ordered pairs always go x, y. X is entrees, y is sodas. So this intercept means that if I buy 0 entrees, I can buy 25 sodas. I can buy 25 sodas with my $50 there. So 25 sodas. So that's my interpretation. Again, putting words to the variables and then telling me a story about the math problem.